What's up? It's AK Babyface. Subscribe to Supporting Icons for the latest boxing news.
Right, everyone, I hope you're all doing fantastic. So Deontay Wilder, he announced that he was going to be fighting King Kong Luis Ortiz again, and he announced this in the last week of May. And as of today, he's just announced it, or it's now been officially broken, that it is in fact going to be November the 23rd at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and will be shown on FOX Sports pay-per-view. Now, this is the kind of fight that, in my opinion, had the rematch had happened straight after the first one, I think a lot of people may well have bought into it. But unfortunately, just over a year has passed now, and Luis Ortiz hasn't looked great in his last two fights. He's had 3 fights since he lost to Deontay Wilder. Now, granted, the first fight, there was some controversy, especially at the end of round number 7, beginning of round number 8, with the extra few seconds that Deontay Wilder was allowed to get checked by the medical team. Even Showtime, but Paulie Malignaggi said this is wrong. So, of course, there was some issues, which is why I've said that in an ideal world, these guys would have rematched straight away. Now, ultimately, what we do know, Stephen Espinoza of Showtime, he passed up on the opportunity to have this fight on Showtime, and now Fox Sport will be having it, and it will be on pay-per-view. Now, is this a pay-per-view fight? In my opinion, I think the first one was probably a pay-per-view fight, because again, both these guys were undefeated, and we didn't know the level of Luis Ortiz. A lot of people would put him up on some kind of high pedestal, some would put him on the mediocre level, because we didn't know quite how good he was. So in my opinion, the first fight should have been on pay-per-view. This one is a pay-per-view fight that nobody is asking for. Nobody is asking to see this fight again. Now, I'm presuming that they're going to put it on pay-per-view due to the high wage demands for not only Deontay Wilder, but of course King Kong Luis Ortiz. Because as we know, Luis Ortiz's team did drop the ball, and they admitted that they dropped the ball when they turned down $7 million to take on Anthony Joshua. So I'd imagine one of the reasons that they put it on pay-per-view now is to try and recoup as much money as they possibly can. Because last time Luis Ortiz took on Deontay Wilder, he only got paid $500,000. So it's a whole world of difference between $500,000 and $7 million. So I'm presuming that's why they're going to put it on pay-per-view. Now, first of all, I hope that the pay-per-view sales does very, very well. I hope the event does well. I hope it sells well. I don't know how many times Wilder fought in Vegas before. I believe he has fought there at least once more before. But unfortunately, and it is unfortunate, that he's not really a draw. He's not a pay-per-view fighter unless he has a credible opponent in the other corner. But do people really view Luis Ortiz now as a big opponent, a scary opponent, an opponent that could legitimately get in there and knock Wilder out or beat him on points comfortably? A lot of people will probably say no. Of course, Luis Ortiz, he does have a very, very good fan base, and these guys are going to have to rely on this fan base to buy the pay-per-view or buy the tickets to turn up to the arena. Wilder, he's not really a ticket seller, and his fight with Tyson Fury, as far as pay-per-view went, wasn't a great success. 320-something pay-per-view buys, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't great. So for me, as this is the first time that Wilder's going to be fighting on Fox Sport, and Fox Sport is a huge, huge broadcasting network station. So, in my opinion, and it's just an opinion, but I do feel that this fight, Deontay Wilder's debut, if you like, on Fox Sport, he needed to be put onto regular Fox Sport, so viewers of Fox Sport, and there are a lot of them, get exposure to Deontay Wilder. Because people are not going to pay pay-per-view for somebody who they don't know who he is. They're just not going to do it, and that's the absolute truth of it. But, hey, listen, ultimately, good luck to the pair of them. I hope that the pay-per-view does very, very well. I'm not confident that it will, and nor was Stephen Espinoza of Showtime, which is why he said, with his own mouth, we have to pass up on this one because it's just not financially viable. So, anyway, listen, that's the news. It's now official that Deontay Wilder will rematch King Kong Luis Ortiz, November 23rd in Las Vegas on FOX Sport pay-per-view. Drop your thoughts below about it, click thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.